Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Beekeeping Show 2025. My name is Dan, and I'm one of the managing directors of BS Honey Bees Ltd. Today, I'm excited to share our journey from our very humble beginnings to where we are now, pushing the boundaries of modern beekeeping. And yes, while Tristan is holding down the fort at our trade stand, I'll be doing my best not to let any technical issues interrupt our time together. You can see us on here to your left in our younger years, and more recently over to the right, posing in our 6,000 square foot warehouse with our breeder from Hungary. 2 mortgages, wife, and 2 kids later, so a few pounds added. Let me start by thanking you all today for joining us. Alex managed to twist my arm and persuade me to host this seminar slot. Those that know me realize I'm slightly out of my comfort zone, and I would be less intimidated by a hive full of angry bees than a room full of people. So, to fully introduce myself and the entire 2 members of BS Honey Bees, there is me, Daniel Bates, pictured in the top right. So, anyone that's called or emailed or engaged with us at any point, it's likely me you've spoken to. I tend to oversee the day-to-day tasks, scheduling, planning, and many of the technical and legal sides of the business, alongside the task of being a full-time bee farmer. Tristan is my business partner, pictured to the left of me in the right, whom is normally happily working away behind the scenes. Tristan is generally responsible for many of the manual tasks, preparing vehicles for the day, forklift unloading, woodwork preparations, manufacturing assembly, and again, alongside being a very knowledgeable and dedicated bee farmer. Tristan is a perfectionist and will spend a lot of time ensuring things are done right in the best and most efficient way possible. We make a great team, and that will throw ourselves into any part relating to the business. We are not scared to try and take on anything that is thrown at us. Our story begins back in the village of Brockworth, just between Cheltenham and Gloucester, a place as unique as the annual cheese rolling event at Cooper's Hill. Tristan and I met on our estate when we were 10 years old and built competing go-karts. I built mine from an old bathtub with various pieces of angle iron as a chassis and some old bike salvage from skips, pictured here in the local newspaper back in 2000 with my friends. Tristan built his from an old wardrobe and hacked up push bikes. I lost that race, and his brother Steve managed to crash my go-kart into a wall, and I still have the scar on my knee to prove it. As it so happened, we were put into the same class when we moved up into secondary school. Little did we know that our childhood adventures would set the stage for a lifelong journey in beekeeping. I'd always been entrepreneurial. At the age of 12, I was developing websites, learning coding languages, producing graphics in Photoshop, and at 13, I was running my own small business hosting websites. Whilst my friends had paper rounds, I was earning money selling my services. So you could say I had a knack for business. During the challenging times of 2006-2007 recession, when I left school, I had plans to further my career in IT. Fate had a different path for me. I began helping a local bee farmer, initially only tasks such as assembling hives, frames, coax boxes, and then being thrown in at the deep end, managing his hundreds of colonies around Gloucestershire in a paid role. At first, I didn't see this as a career path for me, merely as an in-between for an IT role. The thing with IT, there is so much competition, and despite my knowledge, I couldn't really excel. In bee farming, I saw how I had the potential to excel, and it was something I was good at. So you could say I fell into bee farming, but who knows what would have happened if I took the other path. In 2008, at the age of 18, I embarked on my first season on a large bee farm in Australia. This is where Tristan entered beekeeping, having to cover my tasks in the UK temporarily whilst I was working away, although his temporary role quickly became permanent. Having never left home, it was an emotional trip for me flying to the other side of the world. The experience was nothing short of transformative. I worked for Brown's Bees Australia, who specialised in producing queens, honey and packaged bees for export to the USA. They ran around 3,000 hives and 3,000 mating newts. As crazy as it sounds, we would package bees and ship them on aeroplane, ready for almond pollination, and we were filmed and used in a few BBC documentaries. This is really where I began to learn things on a large commercial scale. In Australia, I met some lifelong friends from all over the world that I'm still in touch with today, including fellow bee farmer Sam Barber of Honeyfields Bee Farm in Coventry, and my good friend Ben Brown, an Aussie that will always welcome me into his home for a few schooners or a whiskey. I continued to return to Australia in the off-season to further my knowledge up until around 2012, and by that time Tristan had joined me on a few occasions. My last and most recent visit being a holiday to visit friends in 2016, where I proposed to my wife while skydiving on the coast of Newcastle from 15,000 feet. I hope to return someday with my wife and children when our busy work schedule allows. The lessons learned down under continue to influence how we approach our beekeeping here in the UK. Back in the UK, the bee farmer we worked for primarily specialised in breeding bees and queens for sale. There was only a small honey production side of the business. We got to the stage where we were running the beekeeping side of the operation, and we felt that we weren't appreciated. Our concerns with our boss's business dealings also raised eyebrows. At a point, his son entered the business, trying to control things without any real knowledge, and essentially trying to force us out. With a little persuasion from others, we decided to take the leap to form our own bee farm. Tristan and I rolled up our sleeves and started building our business from scratch, quite literally, in my mum's garage. Between our full-time beekeeping jobs and building hives in our spare time, we poured our hearts into what was to be known as BS Honey Bees, Bates and Selchook Honey Bees. We felt that our combined knowledge, youth, and ability to apply technology to a rather outdated, old-fashioned industry could revolutionize the way beekeepers buy their bees. There were tough times, girlfriends lost, and even moments where we had to make sacrifices, like selling our only vehicle, a trusty 1994 Toyota Hilux, just to fund another trip to Australia to keep afloat. But every challenge taught us something invaluable about dedication, resilience, and the art of beekeeping. Today, our company is at the forefront of modern beekeeping. We specialize in breeding and selling honeybees and queens, with around 700 nukes and 8,000 queens each year, ordered through our website, with many shipped safely across the UK via Royal Mail, as well as collected from us in Gloucester. We have developed many good relationships with high-quality queen breeders from around Europe and the UK, most of which we count as friends. Thanks to this relationship, we have some exclusive agreement with breeders to supply the best stock to the UK market. Plus, we produce around 10 tonnes of English honey per season, efficiently extracted using our very own Paradise line. We tend to sell this in bulk to long-standing customers and have a small line of outlets retailing our Hillside Honey brand. We're also proud to offer our polystyrene hives, which have been hugely popular in the UK. Our knowledge has allowed us to implement real-world needs given the practicalities of beekeeping. These products were designed with extensive knowledge during our beekeeping careers in the UK and abroad, and based on wooden variants we had produced and used. Unfortunately, in recent years, we have suffered from copycats that will happily rip off our ideas or entire design with no thought given. We work within quite a close-knit community, and I feel that suppliers are better working together and forging good relationships rather than against each other. Efficiency is at the heart of everything we do. We're not just about cutting-edge technology, though. Our operations are also built on a foundation of teamwork and strict quality controls. Every year, we will focus on bottlenecks or issues and find ways to improve efficiency, creating solutions. These things are what allows us to create new products by seeing what is best to overcome issues. I'm lucky in the respect that my dad is a CAD engineer, and more recently, we have a 3D printer that can help bring our ideas to life. There are lots of ideas that we've designed but have not been able to produce due to the non-viability or economic issues. But we're always keen to make things possible, working with local UK factories. We're also petrol heads. We love our vehicles, and we have an arsenal of pickups, trucks, motorbikes, and quads, all with specialised roles. More recently, our bespoke 2024 Toyota Hilux, completely custom made to our own specifications, ready to tackle our daily bee farming activities. Now to one of the best purchases we have ever made, our Paradise 80 frame extraction line. Based on our use of them in Australia, it's a true asset to our operation, Its efficiency is unparalleled to traditional setup, and it allows us to get the honey extracted as quick as possible so we can get back to doing what we do best, and that's beekeeping. Many of you here today might already be customers as hobby beekeepers, and some long-standing that have developed their hobby into full-time businesses as part of members of the Bee Farmers Association. We are privileged to have made that possible, be that by supplying bees, queens, equipment, or just general guidance. When we walked into the first BFA AGM at Stoneleigh back in 2012, age 21, looking to apply to join the BFA, I think we may have been underestimated by some. But I'm hopefully right in saying that over the years, we have become respected members and have gained so many friends along the way. It's great to come here every year and have a good natter before and after the BFA members' meal. We were especially pleased when Paul asked us to host the AGM in October 24. It was truly an inspiring day with lots of positive feedback on our operation and journey towards it. We had an amazing turnout, and despite the miserable wet weather, everyone managed to get their vehicles out of our boggy field safely. Of course, the journey hasn't always been smooth. We faced our fair share of challenges. In 2013, when we lost 70% of our hives to severe flooding, it was nearly enough for us to throw in the towel and call it quits. But we kept going. In 2014, we suffered near financial ruin when a company went into bankruptcy, owing us thousands. In 2021, we had the issue of dealing with new legalities and red tape after the Brexit transition period had ended, causing huge strain on our business and personal lives. This was coupled with spending an eye-watering amount on developing our full poly hives at a local Cheltenham factory, only for it to file for bankruptcy within a few months of the product going live. This situation particularly stuck with me, as the moulding method used is uncommon, thus deemed the tooling to be mere lumps of metal and entirely useless. Inquiries to Polish factories, including Lyson, have led to no avail. But we must celebrate success. After many years of working away, we were recognised by Beecraft and the Bee Farmer magazines with various articles and case studies on our business, and I was pleased to produce many other articles for the magazine over the years. We were especially proud of our premises. Myself and Tristan both come from poor backgrounds. We built our businesses from nothing, and after 8 years of renting a small barn in Cheltenham, we were able to successfully bid and win a 13-acre plot of land close to our hometown in 2021. This comes after many years of bidding on various plots in Gloucestershire. By 2022, we had a purpose-built 6,000 square foot building being erected, in which many of the tasks were completed by ourselves, and the entire project managed by us during a busy beekeeping season. It is here where BS Honey Bees now continues to thrive, and as a respected business within the local village and around the UK. Each challenge has only made us more determined to succeed. Our continuous improvement, whether in our production or our operational efficiency, is a testament to the hard work and dedication that drives us every day. Looking ahead, our vision is clear. We plan to expand our product lines, embrace more sustainable practices, and continue innovating to make beekeeping more efficient and profitable. We're excited about the future and always open to new ideas. More so recently, we have created a small focus group while we look to develop our existing ideas and projects into useful additions for any beekeeper. Whilst these projects may not come to fruition overnight, we hope that gaining valuable feedback from our customers will help us cater to those real-world needs. In conclusion, BS Honey Bees Ltd is a story of passion, perseverance, and a little bit of daring. From my early days in Brockworth and the lessons learned in Australia, to the challenges we've overcome and the community we've built, every step of our journey has been incredibly rewarding. Thank you for being here today and your continued support. Now I'd love to open the floor to any questions you may have.